Hello, everyone, and welcome to Twillow Stache, or Twillow Talk. We have Twillow Stache once a month when we have our special guest, Gerald.
Hello.
Tarot Stache.
There you go. There you go. It's great to be back. Thank you.
And I also have, of course, my beautiful co-host, Jennifer Jerkowski.
Hello,
My holistic self, and Twillow Lifestyle Community, which is where I'm from, and we're going to put him in the center because, it's balanced that way.
Okay.
And so let's say hello to a few people. We have
Hello.
Kaylee. Hey, excited for Twillow Stache, still work clerking. Awesome, welcome.
Mm-hmm.
And we have Maureen Edwardson. Hello, Maureen.
Hello.
Looking forward to seeing you.
Yes.
And we also have Mark Tackman. Hey, how's it going? Yes, exactly. We want to have a Gerald sandwich today.
Gerald Sammy. Gerald Sammy.
So,
all right.
how are you guys doing? Because it's crazy.
Define crazy. Now, this is something, and I genuinely mean that. So, because I do that because my definition of crazy is different than yours.
This is true.
Mm-hmm.
So. Yeah, for me, it's like just wild energies, like a little bit in the chaotic energy field. But for me, all of it's happening for us, not to us. So it's all good, right? We've had a lot of solar flares and whatnot over the weekend, which we're going to get into in just a second. Maureen is saying, so happy to be here. Awesome. We're happy to have you. Crazy good. Yes. So it's just a little bit up and down with some of the solar flares this weekend. So we're going to look at that as we go to our usual, which is spaceweatherlive.com. And we'll see here we have had some M-class storms here, M2, we had an M3, and we had an X2.29 over the weekend. We had another M here, but today we've had fairly stable all of C's, which is all good. And our ads, which are here for this one on disclosure news for the Schumann resonance, we're down in the 10 to 12 range, which is much lower than we were over the last few days. We've been up in the 30s and stuff, which you can see here. We've got a fair bit of our white showing here. So today has been a little calmer in terms of the energies. So that is where we're at.
Okay.
That
is where we're at. And Jen, how are we doing for transits? Because I know this last week was kind of crazy with transits. Crazy good, but crazy,
Crazy good. I mean, when you look at it again, right? Each of the transits, as we've talked about so much, they have their shadow, they have the gift, they have the siddhi. And so we have this spectrum of energy that we're constantly tapping into and feeling and all of that. And so yesterday, we actually switched transits into the gate 26. So I've got that card out for you, right? We've got the gate 26 there. It's the taming the power of the great, right? And this is the gate in the I Ching. It's the egoist. It's in our will center, which is also the ego, the heart. And
the interesting part about that, just before you get too far into that, you said it changed overnight last night. And that's where the change.
Yeah, between the 8th and 9th.
And that's where the change is in the Schumann. So I just thought that was an interesting note, right? Because it doesn't always line up that way, but it did this time. Sorry, go ahead.
That's okay. It's all good. So this transit that we're going into, Richard Rudd, who does the Gene Keys, just talks about this transit as being very mystical and very potent in the Gene Keys. It's about having an impact without the need for ego. Right. And really figuring out where we switch between being able to just show up and where that ego kind of aggrandizement, steps in. So can we do something that's really powerful, right, during this time while also kind of staying in the background, right? And allowing ourselves to step into this energy, because it's really interesting. It's connected to the energy of the trickster, but this piece of being able to just, how we talk about, we just do because it's our duty to do. There's nothing that needs to come from it. There's nothing that needs to give in or expand from it. It's just, it's my calling. I'm going to put this out there. This is what I'm meant to put into the world. It's that
we joke about, we just do what we're told.
Right. It's that kind of energy, or the capacity for that kind of energy, right? Because when we look at the shadow aspect of this, we're looking at pride, right? It is in the ego center. It is in this place of needing to be seen. There's a fear of silence that goes along with it. There's this pressure to be the best, right? That can show up when that shadow aspect is taking hold. And again, remember, shadow is not anything to be afraid of or run from. Our shadow also shows us our genius, right? And the genius side of this, or what is really beautiful that can come from this, is the siddhi, or the enlightened state, which is invisibility, right? So we look at that and we notice that and we go, okay, I get it. How do we get there? How do we navigate it? That's the gift of artfulness, right? That is part of this key. And so being able to really step into the energy, it helps us move, right? It's the trickster, but it's the sacred trickster. It's that ability to allow ourselves to be where we need to be and do what we need to do, just because that's what's in flow for us. And there's nothing else that has to come from that or show up from that. It's really just honoring that place that we're in, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
so for all those people that are recovering perfectionists out there, this is going to be a week for you.
It can be.
Yeah.
Sure can be.
Mm-hmm.
Noticing that energy that comes up, because the victim state that we can fall into with this energy, it is egotism, or the lack of, if I can read my own writing, grit, right? So, we look at that and go, okay, we could fall into either that kind of really pushing for something to be a certain way and trying to manipulate things and trying to force things to be a set way. Or we could slide into that energy of, I don't have it to give, period, right? There's no grit there. There's no ability to push through. There's no ability to navigate it. And so if we're falling into any of those things, the energy of this transit is helping us to step into that place of artfulness. And what's beautiful about that is that it's, okay, so this is also the gate of the salesman in a lot of places. And so what's really cool here is it's the art of, like, as they would say, heart marketing, right? Being able to really show up from that place of, this is truly me. I don't have to exaggerate. I don't have to oversell it. I don't have to manipulate it. I don't have to do anything to make it be a certain way. I just have to be able to show up as me with my heart, knowing that this is what I'm meant to be here for, and it's going to unfold, right? And that artfulness and ability to navigate it is just going to come in. That's the energy of it.
So on that note, I have to share something that I had. So I went to have a little nap, because y'all know I'm a napper. And so I went for a little nap. And as I was in my between state, I had a bit of a download. And it turns out it's quite similar to what you were talking about. So these are the 5 P's of heart-led entrepreneurism: purpose, passion, people, participation, and play. So it's much like what you're saying, right? Just being present and doing what you love. That's it. Like when you were talking about it, I'm like, that just sums up those 5 P's. I was like, oh, well, I can't make that stuff up.
I love it. Well, and it's really neat too, because some of the things that there's so many different places out there that talk about the gates and the gene keys and all of that. And one of them, it's, persuasion and play, right? And then the heart. And so really, here's more of your P's.
Yeah.
Right. The other thing that's really, really cool about this gene key, one of its really positive attributes, is the power that it has to control memory. right? And so there's a piece here because it's part of the quarter of mutation. So it's that ability to change and transform. And it's so cool because we think about, we've talked so often on the show about time and space and how nothing is linear, right? Everything is happening all at once. And how beautiful is that to know that here we are in this energy that has power to control memory. And it allows us to move through this energy in a way that lets us redefine what's happening, right? So if the internal motivator for this gene key is, this idea of maximum results at all times, this is that perfectionist energy that you're talking about, right? But it can also allow space for, we accept and acknowledge as we're, developing our understanding that there is no perfect, in the sense that, what the mind perceives as perfect is going to be different for everybody. Right? Yes. Versus what is an absolute perfection, which is the beauty of all things. So, right, we open ourselves now in this energy to that artfulness. And what does that look like when we're really trying to embrace, the universal perfectness, which is so allowing of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we should say hello to a few people that have joined us.
Definitely.
So Maureen was talking about the genius keys.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then we have Jonathan. Hey, Jonathan. Thanks for joining us. And Maureen says she's the reverse perfectionist. Yeah, I'm the recovering perfectionist. That's what I always call myself. So it's, everything is perfectly imperfect. Perfectly perfect.
Perfectly perfect.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
And then we've got Kaylee, who's saying she loves that. And she's also saying hello to Jonathan, which we will leave there. Oh, and Ming. We have Ming on Facebook.
Ming.
Hi, Ming.
Hey, Ming.
Joining
How's it going? So, what's your feelings at the moment?
Well, I was thinking about this, listening to what the two of you were talking about, and oftentimes you ask me for a tarot card that relates to this topic.
Right.
And part of it is it's the Six of Pentacles. It's the reciprocity. It's the doing the thing because it needs to be done, and it is the right thing to do, not necessarily expecting to have it returned in kind. So I was thinking about that, and I think part of that also is we do have to pay very close attention to, let's see, the shadow aspect of it is pride. We have to be very careful not to let the idea of pride take away the power of just doing the thing because it's the thing that needs to be done, because it will shift the energy around that. So
it's true.
But yeah. So so that's what I was thinking about. And yes, it's been a lot of chaos, and we're 2 weeks out, or just a little over 2 weeks out from Christmas. We're under 2 weeks out for the winter solstice.
Yes.
There's all sorts of holidays that are happening this time of the year.
Of course.
So
yeah.
And so there is a lot of shifting of energy moving from, because I don't know about you all, but here in the Northern Hemisphere, it's getting darker earlier.
It is.
It's staying dark longer. We only have until the 21st to deal with that, and then we start gaining that time. So right now we're really into that decrease. So it's that's what I needed to say.
Perfect. Everything that is meant to be is meant to be.
Well, and everything is meant to be can be, especially if we don't allow pride to interfere. But then let's add that little thing in there. Well, sometimes maybe pride does need to show up to help somebody learn something about themselves or learn something from other people. So, but The enlightened side of this, Jen, is indivisibility.
Invisibility.
Invisibility, like you don't see me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And this is a really hard one for people sometimes, right? This is the whole, like, with the pride piece, because you think about, this is will, and we're looking at individuated will versus divine will in whatever framework we want to look at that in. And so, yes, zero resistance allows maximum flow of energy. I love that.
Yeah,
And that's really
exactly.
a lot about what this energy is talking about, because when we're in that place of pride, it's my will, my way or the highway. This is what I want. This is what I want to make happen. And I'm going to do whatever I need to do, whether it's manipulation or pushing through or whatever else to make that happen, versus our ability to get out of our own way and connect with that higher sense of who we are, to tap into what is now divine will, which has the power to do anything. Right?
That's right.
But that anything is not necessarily what the individuated self wants.
Right.
Right?
Might be what they need, but not what they want, kind of thing.
So so we look at it
Yeah.
and go, okay, you know what, there's a lot of beautiful power in this, but we have to recognize the way that we navigate that is very, very important.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because it's, we look at the frequencies and what we're tapping into. And, when we're tapping into a place that is, that kind of just pushing through or potentially hurting others because we're just trying to make what we want happen, right? Or thinking that our way is the best way and that there is no other way. The frequency that's there doesn't really allow for us to bring about the things that ultimately we're here to bring about. Right? And so I think for that, invisibility is really about being able to tap into that universal reality, right? It's not about this individuated, separate sense that's trying to do all of this. It's really about, how can I, as a reflection, in my unique way of reflecting it, bring about this energy that I'm meant to bring forward.
Yes. And also, ego serves a purpose. And we need to keep that in mind, because we need to, that idea of zero resistance allows maximum flow of energy.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a delicate need for balance when we start to go, oh, I'm doing this for me. I'm not doing this because it's the best thing to do or the right thing to do. So that in invisibility, that's an interesting concept as an enlightened. So it's almost like we're doing things that need to be done while the ego sits there and doesn't notice what we're doing. So we're invisible to the ego. So it's almost like that we've cloaked ourselves, we've draped, and so we've given the ego an opportunity to do something else. It's like when I try to meditate. Yes, I'm not very good at meditation at this time. Stay tuned. It might
It is
change.
a practice. We have
It
good days
is a
and bad
practice,
days.
but the idea is that a lot of times the mind gets in the way.
Yeah.
And so, I had this great image is I would give the mind, my brain or my mind, an arithmetic book, just so that it could do math and keep itself occupied while I meditated. So it's the same idea of the invisibility. It's like flowing, having that maximum flow, and not trying to, it's not being the stone, it's being the water and allowing all of that to flow through.
Yeah. Beautiful. And to what you're saying, Gerald, about the power of that, actually, Richard Rudd, when he talks about the 26th gene key, he says the power of will is actually a magical power, right? It is quite literally your ability to harness the power of light and project it through your body as action, thought, and words, right? Wow. It's the key to manifesting dreams on the material plane, right? So the idea is that if you have enough willpower, you can achieve anything. But we have to look at it from the shadow aspect versus the enlightened aspect, right? Because this becomes the language of the shadow. So it's important to remember that there is nothing wrong with this belief. It's vital stepping stone to a far higher frequency. However, there are two types of will. There is your will, which is, and he'll talk about it in the book. So he says, as we will see, is an illusion. And then there is thy will, which he also looks at when he gets into the gift and the siddhi, which is the higher frequency of the 26 gene key. And so he's exploring this as a foundation, right? So human pride is this kind of spot that we're in, and there is power to it, but how we use it and how we connect with it, and this kind of the way that we tell this to ourselves, it makes a difference in the energy.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, like Maureen says, right? Alignment is key in that.
Yeah, exactly.
And to respond to Maureen's comment just above that, how do we define meditation? It's that thing that you do that helps you find alignment.
Yeah, whether it's moving, whether it's mindfulness, whether it's
sitting still, praying.
Yeah, whatever that is for you.
Yeah.
We have a few people here to say hello to. We have Garnet. He's saying hello, so welcome. And Jacqueline is here. Hey, Jacqueline.
Yeah, hello.
Shita. And we have here. Definitely needed this message today, trying to trust the universe. And it's needed right now.
Trying not to let my ego step in and take charge. It's not needed right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And many are active meditators, yes.
Many are
like going for a walk, being super present, mindfulness, those kinds of things.
Yeah.
And I need to say something, that it's that the ego's not needed right now. Sometimes, and Jen, this is going to go back to human design, what we talked about today, is sometimes the ego just needs to be seen. I see you.
Yeah.
I see you.
Yep.
I see you. Don't be doing that, but I see you. You're here. You're welcome to come along, but you're not in charge. As Elizabeth Gilbert said in Big Magic, it's like, fear. You're welcome to come along, but you're not driving. You're not in control of the radio. You're not in control of snacks. You can come along.
Yes.
Can I be in control of the radio?
We'll try it out.
I'd like responsibility.
We'll try it out for a couple of miles. No
backseat driving.
Well, and that's it, right? And so, what Gerald's referring to is our talk on, and I mentioned about passenger consciousness, which is a, concept in the human design. And we look at that and go, our mind, this thing that thinks it's separate and has all this stuff about identity and all of that, thinks it's driving the car, right? But it's meant to be the passenger. It's meant to be able to just experience and to, see all the sights. But it's not our decision maker, and it's definitely not the driver. Right. And so, we have the ability to use the mind to do amazing things.
Yes.
Right. But who's using the mind? That is that part of us that is connected to all things, that, that can use the mind to, do incredible things in this lifetime. But the mind isn't the ultimate decision maker.
Right. So I'll bring the music, and Mark's bringing snacks.
Okay. Some snacks. Are we going on a road trip? Is that what's happening right now?
Apparently.
Yes.
So.
Because we're going to be courageous, which came to mind during what you were talking about when you were talking about the book, right? How we're putting things into motion and doing that courageous thing, right? Courageously creative.
So I, tarot stash, tarot, ta-da, surprise. But I mentioned that this reminds me of the Six of Pentacles. And I was pulling some cards. Here's an interesting thing. If we think about the Ace through the 10, it's progression. It's the lessons that we have to learn. So I pulled the Five of Cups, So we have a 5. I had mentioned the 6 of Pentacles. We have the 7 of Swords. And then I ended up with an 8 of Pentacles. 8 of Pentacles is the card of showing up and doing the work so that the lessons that you're learning get incorporated without you having to think about them and look at the instructions.
Love it.
So I found it really
interesting. Make that stuff up, right?
Yeah.
You can't make it up. The cards will always tell you this.
Yeah. And this is important because when we're dealing with this stuff or when we're experiencing it, it really is okay, this is the lesson that we have an opportunity to learn.
Mm-hmm.
And do we learn it? Great. Do we not learn it? Great. You'll have another opportunity to do it. If you learned it, great. You'll have another opportunity to learn it. And it's that alignment. So,
yeah.
Okay, I can stop talking now.
Don't. It's
why? Isn't that why you come on the show? Yeah. So we can hear you talk?
I'm pretty sure that's why you're here. Is
sure.
Talking to us.
Yeah, all of a sudden Gerald's not here, but the message is coming through. But I think it's a very good reminder is this is that gate 26 that taming the power of the great was that it. And what's interesting is define the great. Well, you're the great. Hello, you've got to tame your power so that you can understand and you can move with purpose.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, and I loved what you were saying about, that ability to have that transformation, but not having to think about it, not having to do anything with it, not having to do anything really, right? But just to allow it to happen. Mm-hmm. Because it's true. The more we bring awareness and the more that we, step into things, the mind can try to jump in and complicate all of it. Right. And so as much as awareness is absolutely important for a lot of things, just knowing what's possible without the mind having to know is also really beautiful.
Yes.
Right. Because we have the ability to make these deep shifts, without having to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
And that new awareness can just open up. Right.
So speaking of shifts, did anyone else feel the shift yesterday? Or was it just me? I shifted timelines yesterday.
Oh.
So
it was very interesting.
Yeah, you did say that.
Yeah.
Yesterday had some interesting shifts from different things in my hands, but I don't know that it was specifically a timeline shift so much as just an opening shift.
Yeah, I think for me it was like there was an opening that came with the shift for me, mm-hmm. but I really felt as though it was kind of a timeline shift.
Yes.
It was
yes, Maureen saying yes, felt it with Jennifer. I had an awesome meeting with Maureen yesterday. Beautiful. I'm super excited that she's going to be joining us on Twillow in the new year.
Me too.
To share the work that she does because it's absolutely phenomenal and actually really in line with a lot of what we're talking about today.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And so super excited for that. And yeah, beautiful shifts that happened yesterday in that energy. So
I can't say that I noticed a shift.
Well, and it might have just been an individual one, right? We're all on our own timing. But sometimes when these things happen, it's like a big download that happens. And
yeah,
I kind of was going to attribute it to the X-class solar storm because it happened like in the afternoon. So that would have been a couple of hours from when we had the solar storm. So we had a big download yesterday, I think.
Yeah. Well, and the more that we're tapping into and just opening to all that we are, right? Which is this whole process, right? Like that was something that Gerald and I actually talked about earlier today as well, is that ability to unfold, right? And how we're opening continually to, taking some of these layers and things that we've put on ourselves or have had put on us and beginning to shift and move those away so that we can come home really to ourselves. And I think that the more that we're having these experiences, the more shifts we're really going to feel.
Yeah. And what's interesting is some people, Tanys, you had noticed the shift. Doesn't mean we all didn't experience it. We just didn't notice it.
Yeah, mine was pretty obvious for me, but you're right. I mean, I'm pretty sure we've all had shifts that we haven't noticed at various times, because there's been a lot of it. So it just depends on where you're at, whether you're in a space to notice it. Sometimes we're not. Sometimes we're too busy and we're running around, we don't happen to see it or feel it, or however we perceive those things, because we each have our own way of perceiving the world too.
Yeah.
Right.
So big hello to Annie.
Oh, hey.
Hello.
And Annie is going to be on a podcast with me this week. We're doing a podcast with My Place Home Care. So
Nice.
Cool.
coming on to talk about this. That'll be fun.
Nice.
And Kaylee said she's picturing the stereotypical image of lion tamer and the lion. I believe this was around the ego, taming the ego kind of.
Yeah.
Mm.
Keeping it, it's like I see you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She's having a clumsy day. Sorry to hear that. It happens.
It happens. It's
Ground,
time
ground.
to take ourselves back. Take that deep breath. Ground. Right.
As Jacqueline says, shoulders back.
Yeah.
Take a deep breath, shoulders back.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I would say with something like that, when you're having a clumsy day, remember to laugh about it. Be silly. Go, well, all right.
All right.
One more and I get a free toaster oven or something like that. Just make it, shift the energy around it. Shift the energy around it, and here you go. I'm going to be promoting. Turn it into a glimmer.
Yeah.
What is it that lesson is teaching you?
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to discuss your Glimmer project? Glimmer.
Glimmers are a term that I recently came in contact with. It is when things feel really good. I like to think about it as it's when your mind, body, and soul all line up. It's when you are activated in a beautiful way and you feel that connection, like Maureen was talking about, and Maureen knows Glimmers. So, so this is so what we're doing is I'm encouraging people to pay attention to the glimmers in their everyday life, no matter how small or how large they're yours, and then collect them in some sort of a jar. When we're done with this, I am going to be filming my day 9 glimmer, and it's just a way for you to capture the power of those. And then when you need it, you can go back to them later. But this, mine from last year, sits on my main working altar, so it has a lot of energy. So I think it's a really important thing, and opportunity, because where you focus your attention, you get more of.
That's right.
So
So if we focus on those things that light us up.
Yep.
Big hello to Hypnicity. Hello. And she's wondering if anyone has any healing to send her way. So we'll have that intention, of course, of sending you some healing. And hello to Sharon Foster.
Hello.
Welcome. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too, Sharon.
And Hypnicity is putting fortune cookie messages in her.
Oh, love it. Love it.
Fantastic.
Love it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, thank you for letting me talk about that. It was because I think a lot of it is how we put our attention on it, how we put on, and because sometimes I'm overly serious. I need to calm down. I need to relax. I need to, so I need to have the
I
what?
haven't seen the overly serious side.
You've never seen my overly serious side? We could work on that. That'll be like.
It's okay. I like all sides of you. It's okay.
Mickey shiny soapbox. We've got it.
Soapboxes he's got. Yes.
Soapboxes I do have.
Yes. Do we have any soapboxes today?
Do we have what?
Do we have a soapbox topic today?
Well, I was wondering if there's are there any cards left?
Oh yeah.
We have cards.
And it's really interesting because I was shuffling them and one fell out. Take a wild guess. Does it fit or not?
Oh yes. Love it.
Exactly. You're wearing a tiara. I guess Maureen doesn't know that we actually do wear tiaras on the show every so often.
Every so often we do, yeah. But my glasses
I actually
ongoing one. Now you've started something. Hold on. Here we go, Maureen.
I keep them pretty handy.
Yay.
Yeah, we like our crowns. Every so often we'll have a crown day.
Yes, because some days one needs to feel like royalty so that they can treat themselves like royalty, because other people may not be.
Exactly.
So.
She's clapping. Apparently people like this part.
I should go get one. They're over there. I got my glasses. That's a good one for me.
Jacqueline says, "Oh, here we go. The tiaras."
There you go.
Yeah. Oh man.
And who says you can't wear? Who says you cannot wear a tiara?
Of course. Every day is a good day for a tiara.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
That's why I keep mine handy.
Yes.
I got to keep mine where the dogs won't chew them.
Yeah, good point.
Well, of course.
You don't want them choking, for sure.
Yes.
And Annie says, when I'm being pushed down, it's because I'm growing. Something awesome is around the corner. Like you said, see the glimmer in situations. Exactly.
Yeah. And that's a really important thing. It is acknowledging what is going on and the difficulty that you're having. It is just choosing where you're putting your energy moving forward. It's not wallowing in that sadness and that difficulty. It's that I recognize you, but I'm going to go pay attention to this this tiara right now.
Yeah.
And I'm the kind of person who would say, "You want a tiara? I think you'd look pretty good in it. Let's try it on. See how you look." Yeah. And
it's very difficult to be sad in a tiara.
I'm gonna cry in my tiara. I'm gonna cry laughing. This is the
I always feel pretty good when I wear a tiara. Or a crown. This is my crown, really. I do have tiaras, but this one's
yes. This is my crown, and I do have some tiaras in the other room. So
yes.
Yeah.
But anyhow.
But that's, it's so interesting, right? Like we're talking about all of this and our ability to kind of move forward. And with the card coming out, what am I grateful for right now? Like that really is, as you're saying, Gerald, that ability to find glimmers in anything and everything, right? And I remember years and years ago when I was doing Reiki, and one of our homework assignments was to find something that lit us up every day. And I was driving down the road and a dog stuck his head out of somebody's sunroof. And I just lit up and started laughing, thinking like, this is the most glorious moment. And it was something so simple. And yet the joy that the dog had in that moment was just, I felt it and was able to tap into it. And so, we recognize that these glimmers that bring us such joy can come from anywhere at any moment if we're just open to noticing them.
Well, and also that, if the term glimmer doesn't work for you and triggers work for you, because triggers, it's the same thing. It triggers a response. We have just put on it that it triggers a negative response. It's not. I mean, it's just, it's a light switch. That switch is turned on and that the light over the table turns on, or you turn the other one and the other light turns on the hallway light or something. So use feathers, use crystals, use gems, use leaves, whatever it is. So joy is
You said the
contagious.
C word.
Ooh, crystals. Yes. Yes. Yep.
Or this little guy. He's a glimmer. Let me have a little conversation with this little guy. Blue lace agate gnome.
Nice.
He's a glimmer.
Yeah. And so
got all her friends lined up.
Yeah.
I do. I have a lot of friends like that one.
I love it.
As you know, I use them for all sorts of things. They're my buddies.
Definitely.
So it's anything that helps you feel that gratitude in that moment and to capture it.
Yeah.
Gratitude journals have been a thing for a long time.
Definitely.
So.
And I always extend that to not just about the gratitude, like 5 things you're grateful for, but also 5 things that you feel really good about that you've done, right? That you're proud of. It doesn't have to be proud necessarily, because I mean that's more ego based. But do you know what I mean? Like it's about things that you've done that you feel good that you've done.
Yes,
it's those activities. So
very true.
Well, that brings us to the back of the cards. I'm just going to read that.
Oh yes, the back of the card, please.
So it says, adopt an abundance mindset. Gratitude is the antidote to all our problems. It is impossible to be fearful and grateful at the same time. Gratitude improves our health, opens our heart, and changes our state. Today's soul action. The universal law of attraction says that we attract into our lives that on which we are focused. Close your eyes, put your hand on your heart, and think of 3 things for which you are grateful today. Notice the abundance growing within you.
Well, that's easy. I have Jen and Gerald and all of you to be grateful for. And that's just right in front of me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
And
and
just
it also,
The dog is clapping.
Let's back to that doggy Glimmers. The doggy Glimmers. Well, and I think, it's just like a friend of mine, Linda de Gonzalez, who I've done shows with. She has said, she got a vision from an understanding from her guides. Gratitude drives abundance. So think about that.
Because the energy really of gratitude is stating you already have the abundance. Really,
yes.
Right?
Yes.
So that's how we start to bring that in. So Hypnocity, we were talking about journaling. There's 2. One for blessings and the other for bitches.
Okay.
So one for working things out and the other one for being grateful. Perfect.
Yes.
Sharon says journaling is awesome. Kaylee says my mantra every morning: thank you for yesterday, thank you for today, thank you for tomorrow, thank you for the blessings I've been given and those yet to come. Beautiful.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Also look at things that make feel uneasy, but bless them. Feel them, send them off with love and light.
Absolutely.
Hugs and kisses to you too. And have a wonderful community share to share space with. That's beautiful.
Amazing.
And Maureen says generosity breeds abundance. It does.
Yes, it does.
Most definitely.
Doggy glimmers are just part of the hair they leave everywhere.
I am covered in doggy glimmers.
I love that.
And what you put out comes back around. Absolutely.
And what you put out there comes back around threefold, depending upon how you believe, what your beliefs are. So
this is true.
So
yeah, there's actually a story of Rabia Basra, a Sufi saint, and she had people coming for dinner, and she had a loaf of bread, And she's like, okay. And then somebody came and asked for food, and she gave them her loaf of bread. And then a baker had sent a boy around to bring bread to her and brought her 9 loaves. And she said, this isn't my bread. If God was returning this to me, I would have 10, because he returns tenfold. and the story continues on, and sure enough, there were 10, and the boy had snuck one, and so he gave her all 10, and then she gave him a loaf of bread. But it was just this whole story of just knowing, without any doubt or hesitation, that what we give comes back, and that we don't ever have to worry about abundance coming to us. It's just there for us.
Yeah,
exactly.
Definitely. Kaylee says she loves that story. Annie says she's covered in cat glimmers.
Oh, awesome.
There you go.
Any fur baby glimmer is amazing.
Hello, Maruda. Welcome.
Hello.
That's awesome.
So, yeah. Cool.
So gratitude. And we just passed, I believe, Thanksgiving down there for you guys.
Yes, and we passed it for you in October.
Ours was October, yeah. I always feel like we should be doing that all year. So,
yeah. Daily gratitudes, hourly gratitudes, minute gratitudes, every second being grateful. I mean, there's no too much grateful.
It is true.
Yeah, especially when that gratitude is grounded in practice. And, it's like the people who think that the universe is a cosmic cash machine. Oh, I want this, but they don't do anything to help manifest that and to help move that energy through. It's like, don't limit what the universe is going to make available to you just by thinking it has to be a certain way.
Well, that's like one of those P's is participate, right?
Oh, I like that. Yes. Yeah. That's a good point. Yes.
Oh, yes, I suppose that's true. But being grateful for the gratitude is nice too. Right?
Yes.
There you go. Do you have any recommendations on how to do that, John? Moving the energy?
On how to move that energy? I think you have to know your skill set with energy, if you have awareness around it, and how does that energy relate to you. I'm also a firm believer is that the energy, it's like soul exists because God loves it. Okay. And so God loves me, therefore I exist. Well, the energy is part of it is you have to appreciate it, but you also have to love it back. So it is a mutually beneficial thing. So as any magician or witch would tell you, or alchemist, your tools have a certain power, and you need to appreciate the power that those tools have. And you also need to love what they do, and they like working with you. You need to like working with them. So it's a mutually beneficial, because, that gratitude drives abundance. And as was said up there earlier, is that generosity breeds abundance. So do you believe it? Do you like it? Do you appreciate it at a genuine level? I sort of feel like, Kaylee, I went off on a wiggle thing. So move the energy is once you do something, it's out of your control. Get out of its way. Don't try to, well, it has to be this, it has to be that. No. Well, I mean, you could say that.
But you could set your intention and then be open.
Yeah.
And release the expectation, right?
Yes. Yeah. A Twillow tangent. I believe so.
They are common here on Twillow.
We do have them.
Twillow tangents. Yes.
Well, Maruta brings up a really good point. Copper and quartz. Notice those things that you have around you that augment your power. Does music augment your power? Does music shift your energy? Does cleaning shift your energy? Does meditation shift your energy? Bring it on. Don't try to do it all on your own. When I was first starting out, got myself a copper wand with a quartz crystal on the end. Only now do I realize how powerful that is. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, I believe your energy can change depending on your exterior situation. Like you said, ride as it comes some days. Yep.
Yeah. So being in flow, right?
Yeah.
Flow.
Let go and flow.
Well,
oh, go ahead, Gerald.
Oh, I was just thinking is that, that what am I grateful for? Sometimes you have to be grateful that you were able to stay in the boat with all of the stuff that was going on.
Yeah.
And
sometimes I'm grateful I got out of bed this morning.
Yes.
Right?
Or I'm grateful I stayed in bed this morning.
There is that. Yes.
I'm looking forward to some of that over the holidays.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. The beautiful thing, though, when it comes to energy and being able to shift the energy, where is your focus? Right? The moment that we are aware of our focus, we have the ability to shift our energy. If we're focusing on the things that are bothering us, if we're fixing our focus on things that we don't have or that we feel lacking or that we feel upset about or feel fearful of, we're going to be in that energy. And this is why glimmers and all are so valuable, because they do shift that focus.
Yes.
Right? And move us into a place where, we talk about, Maruta riding out the storm. It's like, yeah, we can be riding out the storm and we can be, caught up in it. We can be in the eye of it. We can be outside it, observing it, right? We have capacity to be it, right? Yes. All of those things are possible. It really depends on where we are focusing to what we're aligning ourselves with.
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah. It's funny. I was at a yoga thing on the weekend, and it was beautiful. And we talked about, releasing attachment and all of that. And when you can release that attachment, you don't have the expectations around things. And there's so much peace in that.
Yeah.
And that's related to that being grateful, right? Releasing, not worrying about what's going to be or what's past, but being in the present moment, releasing attachment to past and present.
Yes. I think it's also important that we only compare ourselves to ourselves if we compare ourselves to anything. Because what I am grateful for may not sound like a big deal to you, but it is to me.
Yeah.
So that gratitude is very, very personal, much the same way glimmers are. They're very personal. I mean, don't judge yourself for what you consider a glimmer or where you're expressing your gratitude. No one else needs to understand it. I think most people would. Who are authentic would recognize the authentic sharing of that, and go, "Wow, cool." So that was another soapbox moment. So there you go.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, into the soapbox moment and the seriousness. Yeah, I've got them here. We got 2 left, guys. It's sorry. Okay. I'm grateful for
go ahead.
Okay. I'm grateful for all of you 3 plus all here in the conversation. I need to go in a minute to an appointment. Much appreciate for this wonderful time sharing together. So much appreciation right back to you, Maureen. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. We're looking forward to having you on in the new year.
Mm-hmm.
It's great to see you.
Yay.
Yeah, that'll be an awesome show. So, yeah. All right, guys, if you want me to say whatever it was, you got to bring it back because I don't have it. Oh, seriousness. Yes.
Seriousness?
Okay, gotcha. So how Gerald was talking about seriousness and we talked about soapboxes. The other thing when it comes to shifting that energy, right, is to notice what we're taking seriously. And is it something that we really have to take seriously? Because we take so much seriously that really we can just laugh about and have fun with and all of that. And so being able to open ourselves and release some of that can be very powerful as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we take things so seriously around here.
Hold on, before we finish the show, I gotta put mine on.
My mustache is correct for the.
We'll keep the crystal theme. How's that? We'll do that.
We've got the tiny hands out.
Okay, so
there we go.
We got to read the card with the tiaras. There we go.
We do.
Okay, guys. So
we especially ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lighten up.
So true.
Awesome, everything.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you for everything.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Okay,
yes.
guys.
So we have your home play.
We have 2 cards left. Only 2. So I can shuffle them around or you guys can pick 1, 2.
What's your favorite number, 1 or 2?
1, 2.
Kaylee's asking seriousness or seriousness?
We got some seriousness going on too.
Oh, we have left side, and we got 2. Jonathan said 1.
1.
So I got 3. I got 3 for this one, and 1 for this one. So let's go with it.
Go for it.
Yep.
Okay.
Go for it.
Here we go. You guys are awesome. Follow the cycles.
Awesome.
All right, guys, here we go. Let's read this.
This is your home play.
Home play. Follow the cycles. Okay. Everything in life has a season. You are a child of creation, but your body is made of the earth. Mother Earth's children are created within the great cycles of life. You are built to flow in cyclical rhythms. Are you out of sync with the sacred feminine flow of life? Every season has a natural length and serves a sacred purpose. Are you pushing forward on a project or relationship when all of the signals say to slow down? There is no need for great effort. The cycles of life are effortless in that they happen naturally and organically. When you are experiencing struggle, your sacred masculine drive might be forgetting to listen to your sacred feminine cycles. Listen to the signals of stress being sent from your body and your emotions. Stress is a message that you are moving against the current of the natural cycles. When drawing upon the wisdom of the mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual bodies, you will know when to take strong action and when to nurture the quiet time. Trust that all will get done. Follow the cycles of your life, and it will bring harmony to all.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And Kaylee says it's like we're intuitive or something.
Or something. And you know what? Either card would have been perfect. So I think that, we're good. And the next one, it'll still be beautiful. So you guys are awesome. For those who chose either way,
Well, people
Oh,
need
great
to tune in next week to find out what the other card was.
What's the
Exactly.
last card?
Exactly.
So,
And
Well, and I gotta
yeah.
say, I think maybe because we're talking about ending out the new year, we'll do the last card, and I guess on the 23rd, we'll just shuffle the whole deck again and see what happens for the final card of the year.
Yeah.
What's the name of that deck again?
It is a beautiful deck. It is called Seeds from the Sacred Feminine.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Beautiful.
For anybody who wants it. And we've actually incorporated, it's from Andrea Menard and illustrated by Leah Dorian. And the deck has been incorporated now into our monthly mystic messages. So
Right. So stay tuned for those, guys.
for those for January. That's going to be our new. Tanys and I were figuring out which decks do we want to shift into and all of that, and decided this deck will be done by then. So we'll be good to shift into using it for the new year.
Yes.
So it won't be the end of seeing them for us.
Nope.
Right.
Nope. And we'll see what we'll do next time.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And next week we have Dr. Lori Layden on the show. So that will be lovely. And what have you guys got going on this week? How about you, Gerald? What have you got going on?
Well, I will say next Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern, we're doing spa day readings with Kaylee Fogopogo or Woo Woo Wonderment and Tanys. We'll be doing that. So looking forward to that.
Yes.
I'm you know what? Everybody like and subscribe to my channel because I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 shows for the rest of the week.
Wow.
And you don't want to miss any of them. So, but
stay tuned, you guys.
You know, so yeah.
There's Stache. He's got down there on the far side there, underneath him.
Right
there we go.
And here.
Yep. Go there. There's Stache.
So there you go.
Jen, what else have you got going on this week? You were on today with Gerald.
Yeah, I was on today with Gerald. So if you guys missed that, you can check that out. We talked about not self themes, and we talked about what how to look out for the impact of those in the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
So really,
that was good.
Important message for for what we're moving into. And so we did that one earlier today, and that is on either of our channels. So feel free to take a look for that. And then as far as other stuff going on, actually, Tanys and I have, before next session with Beyond Being Human, we're going to be doing a panel discussion for some support groups that are going to be coming up that we're going to be offering. That's the information for that is going to be posted soon, but that's going to be on Sunday, the 15th. I believe it's 4 Eastern.
4 p.m. Yeah, 4 p.m. Eastern.
And so...
and our first support group with Beyond Being Human is going to be on the 20th. So that's coming up in a week and a half. So, so stay tuned for that. That's going to be interesting. I'm sure we'll be doing some posting for that.
Yes, that's already in the works. Or at least the request has already been put out to get that up and running. So we will.
Yes, I think it's well on its way. I think we have some links that we can share soon. So it's good. And what have I got? I have a podcast, like I said, it's Compassionate Chats. It's a half-hour show. And we'll be doing that with Annie, who was on today, and Heidi Gagne, who works with me at the My Place Home Care. And the other thing I have is a free workshop on Saturday morning, 10 a.m. We're doing, we're having coffee together. It's morning. We're having an intro for Celtic Shamanic High Priestess. I'm going to go over the program and give you a little bit of information about it. So come and join us. It's like an introduction to the program so that you have that knowledge, because we're starting the new program starting on the 20th of this year. So please join me for that. It would be great to have you. And yeah, I think that's what's going on for me this week.
Good stuff.
So it's awesome. So it's great to have you all here. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing your energy and your enthusiasm and putting up with our little, tiara stuff because it's fun.
Putting up with, loving it. Thank you.
Loving our tiaras, appreciating our tiaras.
Yes.
They are beautiful. So we shall thank Gerald for being with us.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to being together in January on the 13th.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Looking forward to it. And we're looking forward to seeing all of you guys next week or at all of these other little intervals that we've shared. So stay tuned, and we're super happy to have you with us. Lots of love. Magic hearts, Jen.
I think Gerald got them too.
Cue the magic. Oh, Gerald's got them too. Cue the magic hearts.
Hey, they're so much fun.
Have an awesome week, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you. Take care.